I'll present my report towards the end of the session. Over to the general evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster. And now let's welcome our grammarian Toastmaster Rahul to introduce his course. Toastmaster Rahul.
Thank you, Devendran sir. So whenever I think about heroes, I picture some big leaders. And one quality that I've always seen in a leader is the ability to communicate to the audience. Now, one important aspect of communication is grammar. That is my duty today to check the usage of language and grammar in your speeches. Good evening, Toastmasters and fellow guests. I am Rahul and I will be the grammarian for today. Like I said, my duty is to check usage of language and grammar in speeches and any roles that you deliver. Apart from this, I have something which I will have to tell the audience now and check the usage of that as well throughout the session. That is the word of the day. Today, the word of the day is selflessness. I repeat, today, the word of the day is selflessness. The meaning of the word is concern more with the needs and wishes of others than one's own. I repeat, the meaning of the word is concern more with the needs and wishes of others than one's own. An example of the usage of the word in a sentence is, this act of selflessness impressed everyone. I wish all the speakers and role players all the best and hope to see the word of the day used in today's session. Over to the general evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Rahul. So thank you, Toastmaster. Thank you, tag team, for explaining your roles. So I request all the speakers to maintain the timing, and I will be submitting my report at the end of the video. And wish all the very best for all the speakers. And thank you, and over to the Toastmaster.
Thank you, General Evaluator. Before moving to the session, to the benefits of guests, I will tell you the program goes on. First, we have prepared speeches where two speakers come prepared for their speeches. He is our special guest. Second, it's table topic speech, where a table topic master gives on spot topics. Third, the evaluation, where we would get our feedback and performance of the day. Let's begin our session. Let me say few words about the first speaker. He is a senior design engineer in L&T. He loves watch movie and to play football. He is from very greenish state. It's Kerala. Before I call him, let me call his evaluator, Toastmaster Soumini. Toastmaster Soumini.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day. The purpose of this project of Toastmaster Abhinav is to present a speech on any topic, receive feedback, and then apply the feedback to his second speech. All the best to you, Toastmaster Abhinav. Over to you, Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you. I think the TMO is on mute. Shall I start?
I think the TMOD has to introduce the topic and the speaker name, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
TMOD, you are on mute. Can you please unmute?
Rahul, unmute him. Speaker one.
Yeah, he is. No, actually, how it goes is that the TMOD has this procedure. So, shall I start or shall I wait for the TMOD?
Yeah, start.
Okay. Look at the sky. We are not alone. The whole universe is friendly to us, and it conspires only to give the best to those who dream and work. Good evening, my fellow Toastmasters. Those were the words of Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. And today, I'm going to tell a story of a boy's dream encounter with Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. Of course, the boy in the question is me. Let's wind back 15 years. It's 2006. I'm in 6th standard, and Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam is the President of India. About me, people might say that I was a naughty kid, but I beg to differ. I would say that I was just a kid with great energy and great enthusiasm. Anyways, coming back to the story. Just like any other Indian kid, 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. was the most exciting time of the day for me. It's the time you get to play, right? So one day, after 5, I went to the ground, excited to play the game of cricket. But something was strange that day. The stumps were lying there on the ground. The bats were there, and no one was playing. Instead, all of them were standing on a circle and discussing something very deeply. I was frustrated and curious at the same time. So I asked them, hey, what is so important for you to stop playing and be discussing instead? And all of them in unison looked at me with surprise. You don't know? My curiosity increased. No, what is it? Abdul Kalam is coming to our township to meet us. I couldn't believe it. I was so excited. I was so happy. I was so awestruck. I was so over the moon. Now, to understand why we were so excited at the prospect of meeting APJ, you have to know how obsessed, especially our generation, was with APJ Abdul Kalam. Everywhere you went, you heard stories about him. This is the man who overcame obstacles and hurdles to be the President of India. This man used to stay under the light of the street light to be where he is today. In fact, there was a huge portrait of him at the entrance of a school building. And every time we went to our school, we glanced at it, and it fueled our hopes. Quotes like dream, dream, dream were floated around school assemblies frequently. So I also started dreaming. I started dreaming of meeting him, of talking with him, and of getting my book signed by him. Now, he was supposed to come on a Sunday, so I started counting days. Suddenly, waking up became so easy, and suddenly, days began to move so slowly. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and finally Sunday arrived. I jumped out of my bed and started hopping with joy like a rabbit. Seeing this, my dad asked me, "What's the matter, buddy? You seem to be so happy today." "But APJ is coming to meet us, Daddy." That's when I got to learn that APJ was not actually coming to meet us. Rather, he was coming to inaugurate an ashram of Mata Amranathamai, which happened to be near to our township. Just that the ashram didn't have a helipad, so they decided to convert the ground of our township into a helipad. I was disappointed, yet I decided to go there. Just like APJ overcame his obstacles, I will overcome this obstacle and achieve my dream. Now he was supposed to come on 12. He was supposed to come at 12 in the noon, and I went to the ground at 11. I was startled to see the ground fully covered with security. Policemen, bodyguards, black hats with guns in their hands has completely sealed off the ground. I was devastated. Now how are we supposed to get past this security and go and meet him? Yet, we decided to stay. 11 became 12. 12 became 1. At 1:30, I began to hear weird sounds from my stomach. While listening to these funny voices, I heard a faint growl from the sky. It was faint at first, but with every second, the growl became louder and louder. It was the growl of the helicopter. We moved past the people in front of us and peeked our heads through the black cats and shouted at the top of our lungs, APJ Abdul Kalam, APJ Abdul Kalam. The helicopter opened. He got down from the helicopter, and guess what happened? He hopped straight into his car and went straight into a guest house to have lunch. We stopped shouting. What happened? Why didn't he stop for us? Maybe he didn't hear us, which was possible. So now we decided we'll go straight into the guest house and wait on either side of this road for him. And this time, when he sees us, he will stop and he will meet us. But my dear Toastmasters, this time too, the car just whisked past us like a breeze. That was my first heartbreak. He's such a fake. How can he not stop and meet us? I vowed that day I won't meet him again and went straight to my house. And to add insult to injury, guess what my parents were watching? The live coverage of the inauguration ceremony. I ran into the bed and jumped into it, just like the heartbroken Bollywood heroines of the 90s. But that's the thing with heartbreaks, right? You still have that little hope in your heart. You still have that little voice in your head that says that she'll say, yes, bro, just one more time, try it. Even though in reality, she's never going to say yes. I still had that killer hope. I too had that optimistic voice that said to me, you can still make him, bro. He may not have seen you. He's old. His eyes are weak. Of course, if he had seen, he would have stopped. Because that is the APJ we know. That, the APJ who loved kids, the APJ who always had a minute for the kids. The optimistic me checked the time. It was 2:55 p.m. and he was supposed to go at 3 p.m. I sprang out of my bed and ran for my life like a deer. And guess what happened? I was late. I was late by a whisker. Because by the time I reached there, the ground, which was still filled with crowd, all I saw was that great man getting back into his helicopter. My eyes were filled with tears. And I stood there numb, without moving, hoping against hope that the helicopter won't start. The helicopter started just fine. With every swing of the helicopter's blade, the wind blew harder. The dust filled the air, and I stood there, heartbroken, looking down. The helicopter took off, and it went higher and higher, and then I heard the voice in my head. Look at the sky. The universe gives the best to those who dream and work. Look at the sky. And I looked up at the sky. The sun rays were piercing, the dust painful. But beyond those sun rays, beyond that dust, I saw the head of a little man peeking out of the helicopter window, smiling at me. Yes, Abdul Kalam was smiling at me. The tired me smiled at him and waved at him. Bye-bye, APJ. Now, my dear fellow Toastmasters, if Kailash, my friend, was here, he would have said that APJ actually waved at him. If Sadvik, my friend, was here, he would have said that APJ actually waved at him. But friends, this is my story, and I'm sticking to it. Friends, this is my dream encounter with APJ Abdul Kalam. Over to you.
Thank you, Abhinav. It was an amazing speech. Let's have 1 minute silence so everyone can send the feedback to him personal or in chat box. Timer Kirti, please update after 1 minute.
Now, Thanks.
Yes, Toastmaster of the day, it's over.
Yeah, thank you, Kirti. Now it's time to welcome our second speaker. The speaker loves traveling to new places and explore things. He is from RMZ Verzon Toastmasters Club. Today he is giving his level 3 project 1 in topic of offers you can't refuse. Before I call him, let's call his evaluator Toastmaster Magalashmi. Toastmasters Magalashmi.
Thank you, Toastmaster. Good evening to all fellow Toastmasters and guests. I'm really happy to be an evaluator of our Toastmaster Jairaj. What Anantha sir said, he's doing level 3 project in dynamic dynamic leadership. So I love to be evaluator of Jairaj, and I will take a note of his body language and eye contact, facial gestures, and the vocal strength, everything, and I will give my report at end of the time when I call upon. Thank you, Toastmaster. Back to Toastmaster of the day.
Toastmasters Jairaj, the time is yours. Please carry on.
Good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters and guests. So let me start with a story. Actually, my mom is a good mom. Like, in fact, she did all the good things to me. So whenever I go anywhere, any festival, any marriages, I always call my mom as a great mom. But even though I'm calling her as a great mom, she always looks sad. One day, I went and inquired her, Mom, what's happening? You are a good human being in the world. Despite I'm very proud of you as a good mother. What's being stopping you become happy? She said, Yeah, I don't want to be a good mom. Instead, I don't want to be a great mom also. Make me as a grandmom soon. What to do? My negotiation skills always fails so that I'm not able to negotiate a girl to get married. Having this pathetic situation, there was a topic coming into my project, which is understanding the negotiation skill. Hey, what to do? I know my negotiation is already poor, which is stopping my mom become grandmom always. Okay, let's see. But there are times I used my negotiation skills and win 1 over. Roll back. It was my school. Where one fine day there was a festival in my grandma's place. I was very excited that today after school I'm going to join that. My family already went there, so it's my turn to go and join and enjoy the festival to the core. The festival, let me describe. The festival was filled with lights and a lot of crackers will burn, and you will find it very enjoying. That's how it was. So I was imagining from the morning itself, okay, today we'll reach early and let's have a good time over there. But there was a problem there too, because my school ends by 5, and to reach there, it will always take me 3 years. By the time I reach, all the festivals will be gone. I'll go eat, sleep. Okay. But as every problem as alternate solution, I had another idea where I can convince my friend so that he can drop me nearby so that I can reach there earlier. Maybe by 6:30 I can reach so that I can join the festival. But on the morning itself, I went to him, Macha, today there's a festival, my grandma, can you drop me? He simply said, No, da, I am busy. No, I can't do because my cycle is a problem. So I can't do anything. I said, Okay. They please, la. I tried one more time, but he said, No chance. Okay. I came sad and I was no mood in listening any of the classes. Okay, but in lunch period, there was an event happened. So it was a sunny day. We all very tired, and yes, there was a ice vendor who sells ice nearby to our school ground. He sells. Patani Sundal ice. I was sitting in the ground watching this ice vendor. Okay, what happening? My friend who's sitting nearby, Macha, very hot, right? What if you had ice? I said, go and buy. Who's stopping you? Macha, no money da. I replied, Macha, I can help you. Okay, let's go. Then we went and had the ice. We enjoyed the ice. By the time he said, Macha, don't worry, I will drop you today. Don't worry, I'll pick you up tomorrow also. So you don't need to worry. Then I was happy and I enjoyed the travel. Guys, this is one way you can make an offer where the others can't refuse. There are others offers also. You can make it which others can't refuse. There are other situations also. Years passed. We went to in college, we went to a travel. It was a IV, and you all know how people enjoy the IV. So we went by a tempo traveler. Ours was a kind of 20 people. We went by a tempo traveler, and yes, we went to a place nearby Coimbatore, and we returning to home. When we came back, and we all of a sudden we all sleeping nicely in the vehicle, and I was like this in the last seat, sleeping like this. Suddenly, I heard a sound, and I wake up, and I thought it was an earthquake. How come an earthquake happened inside a vehicle? There was a moment of silence. After a few seconds, we realized there was a bus behind us. It's our vehicle. I was astonished since I was sitting in the last seat. I was totally devastated. By the time when I came out, after knowing there was accident, there was a big quarrel happening between our driver and the driver behind the bus. The driver behind the bus is quarreling with the driver. No, it was your fault, and you don't know how to drive. It's keep on going. The quarrel was keep on going, and even the bus driver behind is demanding money from us. No, you don't know. Your driver doesn't know how to drive. You need to pay at least 3,000 because my mirror was broken. But when I went there, and I clearly see it was no mistake from our side, because we are running in the front, and they was the one which came and hit the bus. And we thought, no, this won't go away anywhere. Suddenly, what we did, right? We as a friend, we suggested, and no, Macha, it won't go away. Let's call police this time. And we ultimately know it was not our mistake. Let's go and call the police. I took the phone and I started ringing. Suddenly, the bus driver catch me. No, I think we don't want to go to police station and all. And because our passengers are waiting, and I don't want to end up in trouble. But you are talking so much, and now if you are calling police, what is this? No, let's compromise now itself. That's how he came. See, a guy who's quarreling a lot of things, but suddenly came into compromise. So guys, so whatever stories I was telling so far, it's all based on the negotiation skill I had in my past. So let me share my screen to go over what we've seen, which we correlate with the story what I told. So hope the screen is visible. So these are the 4 types of negotiation skill which put into 4 quadrants. So there are win-win, there are win-lose, and you can lose and win, and you can lose-lose. The first time I said, right, where I convinced my friend who can drop into my grandmom, that's a kind of win-win. I offered something and he offered something. So it's a kind of win-win. So both parties adjusted situation. So that will end up in a collaborative style. So both the party win. You get ice, I get to travel to my grandma home. So there is one more type of negotiation skill which you always go when you are right, the other person is wrong. Where you should compete with them and make sure you are right, even though they lose, but that's how it goes. There are types, right? And sometimes, yes, I may lose, and sometimes I may lose, which is a scenario always happening which makes my mother becoming grandma. So if life has put you in a situation where you want to make an offer that others can't refuse, yes, you can go and do it. Over to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you, Jairaj. It was a wonderful story. It's happened in everyone's life. Let's have 1 minute silence so everyone can send the feedback to you personally or in chat box. Timer, please update after 1 minute.
It's over, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, timer. Yes, again back to our heroes of nation. So after independence of India on 26 January 1950, the full formed constitution has been written for people rights. And this year is celebrated to honor the Constitution of India. After our independence, there are many leaders who helped to develop our nation and which make us feel proud. Some of them, G.T. Naidu, Mother Teresa, APJ Abdul Kalam, Dr. Santa Adyar Cancer Institute, and more. Coming up next, we have the most funful program. Yeah, it's table topic. Let me call the table topic master, Toastmaster Ragul. Over to you, Toastmaster Ragul.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster of the day. So table topic session is one of my most favorite part of any Toastmaster meeting. Why? Because it challenges us to practice our speaking skills. Now, why challenges are very important is because even a hero cannot be a hero without practice. And table topics is that one place where we can practice our impromptu speaking skills. Now, for the benefit of someone who doesn't really understand what table topics are, let me explain it to you as easily as possible. Table topics means a topic is given to you on the spot. You have a maximum of 30 seconds to think about it, and then you deliver a speech of 1 to 2 minutes. Now, some of the benefits of a table topic sessions are it helps us to think on our feet, and this is applicable in real life scenarios. Just think about it. Your boss comes and asks you a question, or even your faculty comes and asks you a question in class. And when they ask us right then and there, we might be a bit confused how to answer. Table topics can help you with this because the question is asked and you can answer right away. Now, considering that the contests are coming up, I have chosen some easy topics, but also some slightly hard topics as well for today. And the topic that will be given to you is solely dependent on your luck because I will be asking you to choose a number from 1 to 6. Uh, Anyone who is willing to take part in the table topic contest or just in our table topic session as well can volunteer. So do we have any volunteers for today? If not, I shall come and find you.
I'll take Rahul.
Yes. All right, Toastmaster Jairaj, please choose a number from 1 to 6.
5.
All right, Toastmaster Jairaj, which is worse, failing or never trying? Which is worse, failing or never trying? Toastmaster Jairaj.
Yep. I think I can get 30 seconds, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. As famous quote says, we are in programmer world. Let me start with the code with programmer itself. Yeah, programmer with zero defect is the programmer, one who doesn't code. A programmer with zero defect is the one who doesn't code. So I always believe in failures are the stepping stones to success. So instead of being in a position of never trying, I always believe in yes, always go with the try and fail. Even one fine day, you will find a way to see how exactly you will win. So, I mean, competition is always where you can take either you can win and get a success, or you will get a path to success that I always see. Even this Toastmaster also have a lot of selflessness people bring together and put a platform where it definitely helps people to come and try out. Maybe on a day one, you will get a lot of feedbacks, which will definitely have things to improve. So it always goes like this, right? You try something, you get your feedback, try to go back and slightly make yourself being improved upon. That's always make yourself a better version of yourself day by day. So instead of being on the side of never trying anything and sitting idle, go try for something and definitely life will put you in a better position. So I end up with this slogan. Instead of always thinking, why this thing happening to me? Instead of why me, go with try me. So I always go with the option of try me. So I think I did a good try. Over to you, Rahul.
Thank you, Toastmaster Jairaj. That was indeed a fantastic table topic. Do we have a second volunteer?
Yeah, so Toastmasters Devar's speech was really inspiring, that it gave me the motivation to try.
All right, Toastmaster Abhinav. Choose a number between 1 to 6, and you cannot choose the number 5.
Yeah, I'll go with 4.
4. All right. Toastmaster Abhinav. Yeah, okay. Toastmaster Abhinav. When was the last time you started something new? When was the last time you started something new? Toastmaster Abhinav.
Yeah. So we just came past the new year, right? And what is New Year famous for? The resolutions. So, and it's in my case, it's also famous for the month of trying something new, but then not following up. So I have been trying for the last 4 or 5 years to stick with a diet to bring down my weight, but then probably I'm the only person who has failed to come from 90 to 89 continuously on a streak for the last 5 years. So yeah, so that is something that I always try to do it, and I stop it midway through that. It becomes new every year when it begins. So that is one thing new that I tried. But on a serious note, the last time I did something new was to give a speech. That was 8 months before. That was again last year, and this year, and this is the second time that I'm giving speech, and it's exciting as well as it was very nervous. So yeah, so that was the other new thing that I tried, and yes, I think I got it. Over to you.
Yes, thank you, Toastmaster Abhinav. Do we have a third volunteer for today? Yes, Toastmaster Vijay.
Rahul.
Yes, Toastmaster Vijay. A number between 1 to 6, and I see you've chosen number 1. All right. Toastmaster Vijay, what lesson did you learn the hard way? What lesson did you learn the hard way, Toastmaster Vijay?
I get my 30 seconds, right? I've learned a lot of lessons. I'll have to choose one. Good evening, friends. What lesson I learned the hard way? Life has never been easy. Do you expect it to be fair? That would be our biggest mistake. Life is a series of accidents waiting to happen. There's no me involved here. It's our arrogance that we center ourselves to everything that happens around in this cosmos. Learning the hard way has been the way of life. Be it my health, be it my choice of career, be it my speaking skills, be it the hobbies, be it the habits, be it the friends. Most of it I've learned the hard way. But I'm glad that I did so. Because now I realize that it was never easy. Things that I have now, my health, my career, this communication skills, which I have been interactive now. But the hardest lesson that I've learned in life is to be fit, to be healthy. This was the lesson I learned the most difficult way. When I hit the top notch of being an obese, that is the day I realized that I need to be on the other side of the scale. So I've learned a lot of lessons in life, each one the hard way, thankfully. But being serious about my fitness is the hardest lesson I've learned. Over to you, Table Topics Master. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Vijay. And with that, I will close the table topic session for now. And I hand back the control back to the Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Toastmasters Rahul. As usual, you rocked in TT. It was extraordinary. Now it's the time for evaluation. It's very helpful to improve ourselves. For detailed reports, let's call our General Evaluator, Toastmaster Devendran. Over to General Evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the day. So before going into the evaluation, let's have the prepared speeches evaluation. So for the first speaker, let's have the Toastmaster Soumini for giving her evaluation report for the first speaker, Toastmaster Abhinav.
Thank you, General Evaluator. First off, I would like to start by saying that Toastmaster Abhinav has completed his objectives successfully. Speaking of the pros in a speech, Good speeches have a structure, an introduction, body, and an impactful ending. And I saw that Toastmaster Abhinav had all these three elements structured perfectly in his speech. I always find three things that make us audience engrooved into a speech. They are telling an anecdote, connecting or telling the personal experience of the speaker, and humor. An anecdote is something like a short, amusing story that a speaker can tell in his speeches. And what I liked the most in Toastmaster Abhinav's speech was that he connected his anecdote and personal experience and delivered it to us. So, double the impact in his speech. There were instances where his speech had indirect speeches, wherein he enacted each dialogue of the speech perfectly in different vocal varieties and in body languages. His speech had meaningful pauses wherein us audience were able to receive whatever he was able to convey to us. It had it also had an impactful good finish too. Now, the areas where I thought Toastmaster Abhinav could have bettered his speech were in two places. Like I previously said, there are three things that connect the audience with the speaker. They are anecdotes, personal touch, and humor. And I thought Toastmaster Abhinav could have added the element of humor and uh, and delivered his speech. So this is one thing where in future Toastmaster Abhinav could challenge himself in doing so. And the last thing that even we all saw was that I would recommend Toastmaster Abhinav to make sure that he finishes his speech on time and for a safer side. And one recommendation for that would be to record his speeches and look at the timing. And for a safer side, I would recommend him to keep it 30 seconds before the red card flashes. To summarize, Toastmaster Abhinav started with a quote, had an anecdote and connected the anecdote with his personal experience, had enacted his indirect speeches very perfectly and had meaningful pauses and with good vocal variety and had a impactful good finish. And the areas where I would like him to challenge himself were to include the element of humor in his speech and note the timing. Over to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you, team.
Thank you, Toastmaster Swami. So now let's welcome our second evaluator, Toastmaster Mahalakshmi, to submit a report for its second speaker, Toastmaster Jairaj. Toastmaster Mahalakshmi.
Thank you, General Evaluator. I really loved and enjoyed well by my speaker, Toastmaster Jairaj. The way you expressed your story, it was amazing. I personally enjoyed and astonished by the way you are making the story and how by the way you are concluded with a PPT. And we learned many tips from your personal experience to how to negotiate offers like win-win, win-lose, lose-lose, and lose-win. That was very amazing, and I personally learned few things from your few things from your experience. And I would like to appreciate you the way you make the story. It was really amazing with the four concepts. The four concept was very good. And apart from that, your vocal variety is most appreciable one. And you are using the slang, right? Slang. It was feels good. It was feels good, and you make the audience comfort zone, and it is so excited to listen your speech, and you make the audience from the starting to end in the very eager side. And your speed of your speech is also absolutely fine. You win the score, and your eye contact and body language and facial expression also good. and your speed also good. And by the speech we all get to know you're a humorous speaker. Even though it was an informative speech, you make it in a humorous way. And I would like to I expect you in another style of your speech in future, like in a in a normal informative way, or in a most different way. We expect you in future in a most different way. Thank you. Over to general evaluator.
Toastmaster. So now let's welcome our tag team for giving their report. First the timer, Toastmaster Kirti.
You general evaluator. So coming to prepared speeches, both the speeches were amazing. But sorry to say that both of them have exceeded the timings, with TM Abhinav taking 9 minutes 22 seconds and TM Jairaj taking 8 minutes 5 seconds. Coming to the table topics session, all have been qualified. TM Jairaj taking 1 minute 52 seconds, TM Abhinav taking 1 minute 23 seconds, and TM Vijay taking 2 minutes. And coming to the evaluators, both of them have been qualified, with TM Saumini taking 2 minutes 15 seconds and TM Mahalakshmi taking 2 minutes 16 seconds. Thank you. Over to general evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Kirti. And now let's welcome our counter, Toastmaster Darshini, to submit her report. Toastmaster Darshini.
Thank you, Toastmaster Devinder. Under the category of no counter, we have TM Abhinav for his speech and TM Vijay for his speech. Let's congratulate them. And under the category of less than 5 counters, we have TM Jairaj for his speech and table topic speech, TM Saumini for her evaluation. Under the category of less than 10 and more than 5 counters, we have TM Bharat for his table topic speech and TM Mahalakshmi for her evaluation. Thank you. Over to the general evaluator.
Now let's welcome our grammarian, Toastmaster Ram, to submit his report. Toastmaster Ram.
Thank you, General Evaluator. So today my job as a General Evaluator was quite difficult. A, because there were very less grammatical errors that I could find. Two, there was a lot of good language usage that was difficult to note down. And three, certain good words, good vocabulary that was used today. So whatever I was able to write down, I will be sharing with you all, but please do know that this is not the limit. There were a lot more as well. Coming to the grammatical errors, there were barely any that I could find. However, there's one correction that I would like to suggest. One of the speakers used the sentence today, there was an event happened. I feel the correct usage would have been, there was an event that occurred. That would have been a better usage of the language. Now coming to some of the good language that was used, there was a sentence that a speaker used, I was late by a whisker. Now, two things which I really liked in the sentence is one, the repetition of I was late, that was twice. And second, late by a whisker, which is a very clever usage of language. And second, the one which I could note down was life is a series of accidents waiting to happen. Again, a beautifully used sentence, which has, with context, does convey a lot of meaning. Now, this is all that I was able to note down. I am a slow writer, so please forgive me, but there was a lot of good language usage today. And now coming to the word of the day usage, unfortunately, I didn't notice any speaker that used the word of the day, selflessness. However, that's completely fine. I hope we all did learn a new word and we will use it in our sentence, in our future, in in our daily lives. I'm sure we all can use this word. Uh, I for one have been using the word phantasmagoria a lot nowadays. Uh, for those of you who do not know the meaning, it is like a dream, and it was one of the word of the day suggested by our very own Toastmaster Priyanka. Like that, I hope everyone uses the word of the day, selflessness. And over to the general evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Rahul. So, on submitting my report as a general evaluator, I would like to applause by ourselves for starting our meeting with the scheduled time. So, and moving to next, SAA, Sadhana Tams. At first, she has explained the roles and roles of the meeting and in a good way, and but she can go in little slow instead of rushing. And the second thing is the presiding officer. He introduced the guest in guest in the way, and he presented it. It was really very good, and on the evaluation side. So I would like to thank all the evaluators first, because all were mostly talking about the positive things about the speakers. Since Toastmaster is a motivational platform, more than pointing out the mistakes, I think it's better to give better to motivate them on the positive side. But still, the suggestion will also makes the speakers to get their improvements. So on evaluator 1, Toastmaster Soumini has explained the objectives of the speech in a proper way, and while evaluating also, she gave the she had a both positive and the suggestion of the speaker. And the good thing is the summary she gave at the last was really amazing. And on evaluator 2, as explained, Toastmaster Mahalakshmi has explained the objectives of speech in a proper way. But only suggestion is she can add a summary at the end of her evaluation. And moving to table topics, the table topic master, Toastmaster Rahul, had done a great job on concluding and conducting the session with the informative and fun-filled one. Even though the topics looks like very easy, the topics are more intense, and it was like a very good and excellent. I really congratulate the table topic speakers for participating and giving the amazing speech. And for me, all the table topic participants' speech were really amazing and inspiring one, and I enjoyed a lot. The output comes from a good inputs, right? So for that, I thank Toastmaster Rahul for choosing a wonderful topics and moving the session in a good manner. And moving to our tag team, Timer, she explained the roles in an amazing way. And my only suggestion is, if the speaker starts to present something, suddenly you can alert him by ringing a bell, so that bell sound, on hearing the bell sound, the speaker can understand that the time limit is up. So next thing is the R counter, Toastmaster Darshini. I understood the nervousness you had at the beginning, but because it is the first time you're taking up the role. Second time when you started to go with it, was really excellent and explained in a really good. The grammarian, you got a proper introduction, and the word of the day was really nice, but no one has used it. But really, it was really wonderful, and the report you submitted was a detailed report, and really it was a nice thing. And I would like to at last I would like to applaud the timer and the R counter for taking up their roles in the second meeting. So let's applause for them. And TMOD for Toastmaster Anant Kumar. It was a wonderful topic, sir, and with a good content as well. So I felt like it was the theme that you have chosen today is like honoring our freedom fighters. On the right time, you have choose this topic. So I really applaud for that. And um, you have maintained your timing in an appropriate manner, without lagging anywhere. So the way you introduced each role players was really good. But only my suggestion is you can introduce the speakers at the time of their giving the speeches instead of introducing the telling about the speakers on calling the evaluators. So when you're calling the evaluators, you can just call the evaluators to give their objective of the speech. And once the evaluator is done, you can say about the speaker, and you can call the speaker to give his speech. So that's the only suggestion I had. And overall, the session was really good, and mostly I enjoyed a lot. And thanks for all the role players for participating, and especially the guest speakers, Toastmaster Jairaj and Toastmaster Abhinav. Thanks for coming to VTC and giving a speech. Thank you. Over to TM.
Thank you, Toastmasters Devendran, for giving a detailed, clean report. Let's back to the real heroes of India. So what we discussed previously, they are all our heroes for our freedom nation. Not only that, recently, the past 10 months, the lockdown of COVID-19 made suffered everyone a lot. But doctors, police officers, volunteers, and social helpers supported people at a lot. They are also our real heroes. So, in our part, everyone should contribute as much we can do develop our nation. Jai Hind. 1 minute.
वन्दे मातरम् सुजलां सुफलां मलयज शीतलां सस्यश्यामलां मातरं वन्दे मातरम् शुभ्रज्योत्स्ना पुलकितयामिनी पुल्लकुसुमित द्रुमदल शोभिनी सुहासिनी सुमधुर भाषिणी सुखदां वरदां मातरं वन्दे मातरम् वन्दे मातरम्
Thank you to everyone. Over to Presiding Officer.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster of the day. Indeed, we did have a fantastic session today. I'm very happy with all the role player performance. And again, this is something which I should have said in the beginning of the session, but better late than never. Really want to appreciate our two new members, Toastmaster Darshini and Toastmaster Kriti. It is their second session and they have taken up their first roles, which is something we really have to appreciate. Let us all give them a round of applause. Now, coming to the one of the best parts of the session at the ending, the ballot winners for today's session. So up first, we will go with the best table topic speaker. The best table topic speaker for today is Toastmaster Jairaj. Up next, the award for Best Evaluator. The best evaluator for today is Toastmaster Saumini. Up next, we have the best tag role player of the session. The best tag role player of today's session is Toastmaster Darsani. And lastly, the best role player. That is the among Toastmaster of the Day, ATM and General Evaluator. How many of you would like to announce this one?
The best role player of today goes to Toastmaster Rahul George for playing Trivial Topics Master.
Yes, good moment, but okay, yes. So that concludes the ballot awards for today's session. So just before we wind up, again, the announcements which are important. We will be having our moment of truths next week session. That is the 31st of Jan. I request everyone to be there. For those of you who do not know what moments of truth is, don't worry. We will put a detailed message explaining what exactly happened. Now, secondly, contests are coming up. That is the table topic contest and the international speech contest. For table topic contest, there is no criteria of eligibility, whereas other than the club has to be in good standing. Apart from that, international speech contest does have an eligibility criteria. That is, you have to complete your level 2. Now, I know most of you haven't completed level 2, but if there is anyone who is interested in taking part in the international speech contest, please do reach out to either me or Saumini so that we can make arrangements to complete your level 2 as soon as possible. And lastly, I would like to thank our two guests who actively participated in our sessions today, Toastmaster Abhinav and Toastmaster Jairaj. Thank you for joining us, and we hope you do join us in the future. And please do let us know when your club sessions are taking place as well, so that we can join them. And with that, I guess there is nothing else. And with that, I declare the session closed.